Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates. Safia Traders Bookstore presents The Makkah Massacre and Future of the Haramain, written by Zafar Bangash. Hajj is one of the fundamental pillars of Islam. Every Muslim earns to perform the Hajj once in a lifetime. Many use their life savings in order to make the journey to the house of Allah. Each year, at least 2 million Muslims gather in Mecca in the largest single gathering of mankind anywhere in the world to perform the Hajj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His infinite wisdom and mercy, has declared the Haram the sacred sanctuary. No profanities or lewdness are permitted within its precincts. Those who seek protection within its boundaries are safe, as stated in Ayah 125 of Surah Al-Baqarah. وَإِذْ جَعَلْنَا الْبَيْتَ مَثَابَةً لِلنَّاسِ وَأَمْنًا, and mention when we made the house a place of return for the people and a place of security. The Hujjaj, pilgrims who come to the house of Allah, are assured complete safety and protection by the Creator Himself. Along with performing the manasik, rituals of Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also ordained that Muslims must proclaim their dissociation from the mushrikeen during the Hajj, as stated in Ayah 3 of Surah At-Tawbah. وَعَدَنٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ إِلَى النَّاسِ يَوْمَ الْحَجِّ الْأَكْبَرِ أَنَّ اللَّهَ بَرِيءٌ مِّنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ وَرَسُولُهُ. And it is an announcement from Allah and His Messenger to the people on the day of the greater pilgrimage that Allah is disassociated from the disbelievers, and so is His Messenger. Yet it was precisely during such a proclamation in Mecca in the year 1987 that hundreds of Hujjaj were gunned down or beaten to death by the Saudi security forces. Several thousand others were injured. The sanctity of the Haram was violated and the security of the Hujjaj was trampled upon, in complete violation of the Quranic injunctions. Why? This question has continued to agitate the Muslims since the massacre in Mecca on July the 31st, 1987. The assault on the guests of Allah has also brought into focus the question of the control and administration of the Haramain. Should the Haramain, the two holy cities of Mecca and Medina, which are common heritage of the Ummah, remain under the control of a single family? And does that family or collectivity of families and regimes have the right to dictate how the Hajj is to be performed and by whom? While no Muslim has publicly stated so far that religion must be separated from politics, there are many, especially among the ruling elites, who want to reduce Islam to mere rituals. The manner in which mosques throughout the Muslim world, with the exception of a very few, have been reduced to places of ritual worship only reflects this trend. The emphasis on only the rituals of Hajj is another example of the same trend. This trend is for the status quo, which insists that Muslims must accept their role in subservience to the forces of kufr. But this is not universally shared by all Muslims. In fact, a more dynamic view holds that the present Jahili system must be replaced by the Islamic system as laid down in the Quran and exemplified by the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, upon whom be peace. This trend also believes in the Hajj as a dynamic activity and an occasion to foster true Islamic brotherhood by proclaiming the dissociation of the believers from the mushrikeen. We should think about the Quranic verse which says, وَعَدِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالًا وَعَلَى كُلِّ ضَامِرٍ يَأْتِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ فَجٍّ أَمِيقٍ. A more liberal translation of the verse reads, "You publicize the timing and the duty of going to the Hajj. They will come to you walking on the legs and their feet, and also using whatever meager means of transportation." Meager means dhamir. So this is supposed to take place months before Al-Arafat and Al-Adha, months before that. The verse in Surah Al-Baqarah says, Al-Hajju Ashhurum Ma'lumat. Hajj is a matter of well-known months. It's certainly not a week or two. But in these months, instead of pondering over the Quranic ayats and trying to act upon it, we are stricken by a deafening silence. Instead of our senses being bombarded with the information to go and to accommodate and to be welcomed in the Hajj in these months, there is a deafening silence. Everyone is in a hurry to go to the Hajj and get out in a couple of weeks. Yes, that's how Hajj has been performed today, which was controlled by a monarchy. And I say this deliberately, and I hope it becomes the lingua franca choice of everyone. The Hajj today is controlled by a monarchy, an anti-Islamic despotism. The Hajj can't be controlled if we were reporting to Allah. But those who are making laws and decisions, they don't report to Allah, they report to their phony earthling deities, America and Israel. This is what we are faced with, and if we don't wake up and understand our responsibilities and duties, we are going to be run over by the merciless policies of the imperialist and the Zionist sidekick, the tin pot dictatorship of Saudi Arabia. This book not only provides a detailed account of the 1987 tragedy in Mecca, but also examines the background to the emergence of the House of Saud. It was placed in control of the Haramain by the British in order to prevent the re-emergence of Islam in its dynamic global role. Under the cover of guardians of the Haramain, the House of Saud has served first British and now America and Israel, imperial and Zionist designs to the detriment of Islam and the Muslims. It's no wonder the Saudi regime has never fired a single bullet against the colonial settler entity called Israel, let alone hold it accountable for its decade-long genocide against the Palestinians. The Makkah massacre has led to much debate and renewed demands in the Ummah that the Haramain must be taken out of Saudi control. On the outcome of this debate will depend the future of the Ummah. This book is an attempt to add to the understanding of the issues involved in this debate. The Makkah Massacre and Future of the Haramain, written by Zafar Bangash, a requisite read for anyone and everyone. For orders, contact Safia Traders Bookstore, Nagarkoil, Tamil Nadu, India.